Sometimes the parts of you that made you feel different while growing up become the exact parts that make your art beautiful. Hey guys, it's Kiwan. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and being here. I appreciate it so much. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about what it was like growing up being the different kid, authenticity, and just expressing yourself. So let's get right into it. Now, growing up being the different kid, different for me, I was really just like, I would usually just stay to myself. I wouldn't really talk to nobody. I wouldn't really like open myself up unless I felt comfortable around that person. And I really wasn't the type. Now, I'm not the type to like follow trends. So like I wasn't really like everybody else. I didn't really like what other people liked. I feel like I saw life way differently than other people did. So that kind of followed me. But when I was home, I felt more of myself. I felt more like I can be myself, free. I love video games. I was very hard headed. I was a wild child. I was like very loud. I was just being me. I also really, really love art. So like I used to always draw when I was younger. Like I would just draw and draw and draw. I would paint sometimes as well. But yeah, I would mostly draw. Like in my little sketchbooks. When I was younger, I was like, well, I still am very sensitive, but like I was very more sensitive than I was. I didn't show it, but like if someone said something mean to me, it like stuck with me. Like it stayed in my head all day, and then I like cry at night, or like sometimes I just wouldn't like express how I felt about that. So I would really like just bottle things up as a child. In some areas and environments, I couldn't really express myself because I didn't feel safe or it even wasn't safe. I feel like I was misunderstood a lot of times as a child, definitely judged, and like I had to like change my tone sometimes because I still am very flamboyant, but like as a child, I was like more just like carefree. And like when I would do like certain things or like hold my hand a certain way, even though I didn't like do this on purpose, it would just like do that, or like I would say something very like flamboyant or like more feminine. Like my father would tell me to just like, like don't say that, don't talk like that. Like I would just have to like change like how I express myself. And especially since I had like, siblings. Yeah, I'm the oldest, so like I had to like really like yeah, as a child I felt like I had to just like be a role model when I didn't really have to, but like I just had to like not express myself so my younger siblings wouldn't turn out like the way I did. I don't know. I felt like in a lot of friend groups, even like from from elementary all the way to high school, it's just like sometimes I had to like tone down myself, or I felt like I couldn't just like express my feelings or like just be myself fully because like I don't know, people are judgmental. And yeah, I just like didn't really like being just perceived as what I'm not basically. I don't like being perceived as someone I'm not. So yeah, like when I did draw, I felt like a lot of my emotions and my self-expression did come through in my art, even though I didn't realize at the time. But like when I went back in my old sketchbooks, I would look at them and I would like, dang, like now I see. It's just like, yeah, like that's usually like how I express myself. Either do whether it's music, art, painting, like any form of art, that's how I express myself. And then as I like got more aware as time, healed me, I was becoming more aware of learning to stop shrinking myself. Like it was mostly like, yeah, in my friend groups, I was just like muting parts of myself, muting a lot of parts of myself that wanted to be expressed that I didn't really know at the time, because I was just like trying to just like I guess like yeah, like be accepted, like fit in, or like I just didn't want to like be seen as like so weird, like as if being weird is wrong, but it's not. But as a child, and like, not just a child, but my younger self and like my teenager self, I just really like thought that, and like I just really felt like being weird, or like doing something like out of the ordinary, or doing something like, yeah, that wasn't normal, was just like so like beyond weird, like overly. I thought that was like overly weird. So it's just like I just didn't like. I was just like so stiff and just. Like there are moments where I have expressed myself with my old friends, but some of it yeah, I couldn't really express myself because I didn't really feel safe enough. It was like basically the pressure of fitting into what other people expected. And then I was just trying to figure out like who am I when I'm not performing for other people, when I'm not like putting on a mask. Who am I underneath the mask? Like yeah, that took a while, and especially like after high school when I went to art college, I was still healing from being a people pleaser and just like finding myself. It just in learning the need to make yourself digestible for everyone. Now let's get into expressing yourself authentically. Now what authenticity means to me is just taking the filter right off, like just not caring, like taking all of the fucks and just throwing them out the window and just being yourself, like walking around naked. Like I'm saying this in like a symbolic way because yeah, but just like, taking like the mask off and just being yourself, dancing when you want to dance, like doing what you want when you want to do it at like any time. That's like what authenticity means to me. Being yourself at any given time as much as you can, as fully as you can, as embodied as you can. Just keep doing you. Like speaking how you naturally speak, dressing how you want to dress, creating in ways that you want to create, doing things that feel aligned, and not needing everyone to understand your expression. Because it's like, yeah, I was just like, when I showed my art to like my family members or friends, like, I guess they would just see like the egoness, not the egoness, but like how it looks. Like they would just like focus on like how it looks instead of like, what it means, how it feels. Like, and it was just like, yes, it's like I focus on that in art because I don't really feel like art is really about like perfection, getting it down to a T. It's about like executing emotion, how and like what it means deeply beyond like what it looks like. It's like, what does it mean to you? And authenticity can be vulnerable sometimes because, you're taking off the mask, you're removing yourself, you're just showing your full self. And that's really vulnerable because, you know, people don't like getting judged or like, yeah. And I can say like it definitely took me a while like come out of my shell, but I did. And I'm glad I have my mother because it's like she helped me come out of my shell more in ways. I mean, I still have to like, come out of the shell myself. It definitely took me like sometimes I would be like scared to like twerk around her, even though like she accepted that, I was like, gay, you know, very feminine, but it's just like sometimes I just like felt just like it was like weird. I was just like, let me like do it. Let me, dance. Let me express myself. And then that's when, she was like, hey, hey, when she saw me. And it was just like, yeah. But I was just, yeah, but it was just like that fear of like judgment. Even though like you have the mask off, you still kind of have that fear of judgment or like that fear of judgment can come up sometimes, but it's just like, you just gotta have the mindset of like, are you gonna let that fear dictate how are you gonna act, or are you gonna like just be yourself without any to give? Now, authenticity isn't becoming someone new. It's removing what covered who you already were. And what does your art mean to you? For me, what my art is, it's just like a reflection of my inner world, a place where emotions become visible, a record of my evolution, healing, communication beyond ordinary conversation. My art isn't just content, it's evidence of my becoming. And it's the same thing for you. Your art isn't just content. Your art is evidence of your becoming as well. And also, I used to be insecure of my feet because I'm web-toed and I'm pigeon-toed as well. It was like a lot of times where like I had to like wear my feet out. Like if we were at the pool, I wanted to like keep my socks on so like nobody would see my feet. But now I am so proud of my feet, and I'm so glad like I decided not to get the surgery because I was like when I was younger, even like my parents like they were gonna say like, "Do you want the surgery?" And I said yeah before, but I was just like now that I know, I was like no, I don't want the surgery and I don't need it. So I'm glad I learned that the traits people call weird may be your gift. Expression is sacred when it comes from truth. You don't need permission to show who you are. Your uniqueness doesn't need to be justified to be validated. If you resonated and want to join the Kiwis, you're welcome here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much. Be yourselves. Be yourselves. Please be yourselves. And just stay true to yourself. The parts of you that once made you feel out of place may be the exact parts that show others they're allowed to exist too.